We've all been there, right? Sitting in a meeting. But what's really going on? It's often so much more than just agendas and action items. Today, we're diving into the silent signals, those hidden intentions and clues about integrity that are flying around the conference room every single day.
Seriously, think about it. Have you ever walked out of a meeting just feeling like the words you heard were only half the story? Well, you're probably right. There's this whole other conversation happening just beneath the surface, and our goal here is to give you the tools to finally see it. So, let's really dig into this idea. A meeting isn't just some passive exchange of info. No, it's an active arena. It's the place where people's real priorities, their true willingness to be a team player, and their integrity, it all comes out, whether they want it to or not. Now here's what's so important to understand. We're not on the lookout for some huge, dramatic, movie-style scandal. That almost never happens. What's way more common, and honestly, way more damaging, is the slow, quiet erosion of integrity. It happens through these tiny, consistent patterns of behavior that are just so easy to miss if you're only paying attention to the words. Okay, so how do we start spotting these patterns? Well, let's jump into the first major red flag, and it's a big one: selective transparency. This is such a critical signal that someone's true intentions might not be what they seem. Let's be really clear about what we mean here. This is not about keeping things confidential when necessary. Not at all. This is about using information as a weapon, as a tool for control. It's the difference between saying, "I can't share that yet," and only sharing the pieces that make your argument look amazing. Totally different things. And here are the telltale signs. You'll see someone present data that, surprise, surprise, only backs up their side of the story, conveniently leaving out anything that might challenge it. Or maybe they'll drop a bombshell piece of information after everyone's already agreed on a plan, making it super awkward to backpedal. And you have to watch out for that classic deflection. That's not really relevant right now. Oh, that usually means I really, really don't want to talk about that. So the whole point here is to get to the motive. When you see this kind of behavior, the goal isn't to protect sensitive company secrets. The goal is to steer the outcome. It's about getting the decision they want without having to deal with a fair and open debate about all the facts. It's all about control. This right here, this is your secret weapon, your diagnostic tool. When you get that spidey sense that information is being managed, just ask yourself this simple, powerful question. If the person holding back the info is the one who always seems to benefit, while the rest of the team or the project has to carry all the risk, well, you've got a serious integrity problem on your hands. All right, let's move on to our second red flag, which builds right on top of the first. This one is all about that dangerous gap that can open up between having influence and taking accountability. We call it no ownership. Oh, this is such a giveaway, and it's hidden in the tiniest words. Just listen closely when a project goes well versus when it bombs. You'll notice how the person who pushed for the idea suddenly creates distance. That pronoun magically shifts from an inclusive we to a detached the team. And just like that, they've sidestepped accountability. And it's more than just language. You know the person. They're the loudest one in the room when a decision is being made, but they are completely silent a month later when that same decision is falling apart. Or the person who's a master at reframing what they really meant back then, just to make it seem like they were on the right side of history all along. They want all the credit for being influential, but none of the blame for being wrong. And this is why this behavior is so incredibly toxic. The bedrock principle of any healthy team, any healthy organization, is that if you have the authority to influence a choice, you also have the responsibility for what happens next. The second those two things get pulled apart, trust just starts to crumble. Okay, so we've laid out two pretty big red flags. But the point of all this isn't to make you paranoid or cynical. Not at all. It's to help you build a new skill, a much more sophisticated and constructive way to operate in these situations. This is such a critical difference. Suspicion, that's an emotional reaction. It kind of assumes the worst in people, but discernment, that's an analytical skill. It's about calmly observing the patterns and looking for consistency, or a lack of it, without jumping to conclusions. So how do you actually practice this? It's really a simple three-part observation. First, you listen to the actual words people are using. Second, you observe the timing. When is info being shared? When are people speaking up versus staying quiet? And third, you track ownership. Who's raising their hand for the wins and the losses? And then you ask that final, all-important question. Are these three things coherent? Do they all add up and tell one consistent story? Let's wrap all of this up with one last powerful thought that you can take with you, maybe even into the very next meeting you have.
Here's the absolute key takeaway for today. People just can't hide their real intentions forever. It's impossible. They leak out. They leak out in their word choices, in their timing, in what they decide to share, and in how they deal with being accountable. The signals, they're always there.
And that right there is the challenge we want to leave you with. It's not really about what's being hidden. It's about our own ability to see what's already sitting there in plain sight. And with practice, you absolutely can learn to read these silent signals and navigate your professional world with so much more clarity and confidence.